Yeah, boys. Look what we got here. Could Batman survive Daredevil? And he had to add the nerd science official there because all of this nerd, geek, whatever. There's so many joints coming around like right now, dude. What are we thinking about this? Could Batman survive Daredevil? As these fights are cool and interesting, like a Batman versus Daredevil type of fight, I don't really. It's like meh to me. You know what I mean? Because they're cool characters, love them. But there's no like shock factor. I mean, I guess unless you're like a fan of one of those characters, but you know what I mean? Like, as opposed to, again, like the Hulk or Doomsday or Superman, these characters get to the point where it's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, I've never, I don't know. I guess seeing like so many godly characters just it kind of dims their light a little bit for me. But I guess it's not really like that. It's not. I love Batman and Daredevil in general, especially Daredevil. Daredevil's cool as shit. Like, you guys let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about that, because you know what I mean though. Like, there's nothing in this that we're about to watch where we're probably gonna be like, oh my God, like, you know. Like when Hulk threw that, what, like 500 megaton punch or whatever, or something like that. Like, like what the, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I'm interested to know because it's a question of, can Batman survive Daredevil, right? Not Daredevil. Can Daredevil survive Batman? So I guess Daredevil might got something up his sleeve, maybe.
Sits on the witness stand in a Gotham federal courtroom, hands folded, expression neutral. The face of a man who has nothing to hide and knows exactly how to show it. Across the room, Matt Murdock stands at the plaintiff's table, blind eyes pointed slightly to the left of nowhere, one hand resting on a white cane that never actually takes his weight. Neither man has moved in 30 seconds. The jury thinks this is just a deposition. It isn't. Murdock is already listening to Bruce's heartbeat. And Bruce is already watching the way Matt's jaw tightens every time.
Is this whole joint about to be just a courtroom battle or something like that? Like, it was not just a courtroom battle the whole time. Obviously, it's not. I'm just playing around.
Someone lies. One of them is about to find out exactly how much that matters. Encounter 1, the courtroom floor. The case is Wayne Enterprises versus Kellerman Estate, wrongful death, negligence, and the kind of corporate language that buries what actually happened. A Gotham arms shipment routed through a Wayne subsidiary crossed into Hell's Kitchen 8 months ago. 3 people died. The Kellerman family wants answers, and their attorney, Matthew Murdock, has a way of getting them that no cross-examination training in the world fully prepares you for. Matt doesn't come at Bruce hard. He doesn't raise his voice or pivot dramatically on his cane. He just asks a question, then stops talking and lets the silence sit there like a weight on Bruce's chest. Mr. Wayne, were you aware of the contents of that shipment at the time of approval? A pause, then another question. The silences are the real interrogation. Here's what Matt is actually doing. His radar sense, the neurological ability he developed after the accident that blinded him, functions like a continuous sonar sweep combined with a tactile field that reads air displacement, body temperature shifts, and micro vibrations in the environment. When someone lies, their body reacts before their brain finishes composing the lie. Micro-expressions last under 200 milliseconds. Subvocal stress responses tighten the laryngeal muscles in ways you can't consciously control. Heart rate variability shifts in patterns that a trained examiner with a polygraph needs quiet conditions to detect. Matt detects all of it in real time, across a crowded courtroom through ambient noise. The thing is, Bruce Wayne has trained for exactly this. During the years abroad, he spent months...
I'm about to say, Batman, he could control that, like, regardless. Even if he was to tell a lie, he could control whatever his body to not react as if he told a lie or, whatnot. Like, kind of, I guess.
Conditioning his autonomic nervous system, slowing his resting heart rate to around 47 beats per minute, regulating galvanic skin response under physical and psychological stress. Tibetan monks achieve similar results over decades of breath work and cold exposure.
That's like low-key kind of hard. Like, how the like, when you really think about it, like, how the hell do you how did you become able to slow your heartbeat to 49 beats per sec or 49 beats per minute? How the I feel like you would usually just like look at that and be like, like, yeah, that's crazy, but no, that's kind of, it is nuts.
Bruce compressed that into field necessity. On a standard polygraph, he'd pass clean.
He'd pass clean.
Matt isn't a polygraph. He gets 3 questions in before he finds the crack. It isn't fear, and it isn't guilt. Bruce's physiology stays controlled through both of those. What Matt catches is recognition. The specific cardiac and respiratory shift of someone who knows exactly what they're being asked about. Not because they did it, but because they already know every detail of what it caused. That's a different signature. Guilt looks like hiding. Knowledge looks like weight. Murdoch doesn't call it out in court. He doesn't have to. He thanks Bruce for his time and sits down, and the deposition moves on. Bruce walks out of that courtroom clean. Legally speaking, no contempt, no perjury charge, no exposure. But Murdoch walks out certain. Wayne knows what that shipment was for. Wayne knows who used it. And someone is dead in Hell's Kitchen because of a decision made in a Wayne Enterprises boardroom. The case is still open. The file is still on Matt's desk. And Matt Murdoch has never once let a file just sit there. Survival tier? C. Bruce survived the stand, but Murdoch doesn't need a confession. He has a thread, and he pulls threads for a living. Murdoch doesn't file a motion. He puts on the red suit. Encounter 2. Wayne Enterprises.
That's kind of tough, though. I like how we had that little courtroom battle before we get to the real action. That was interesting. Even though in the beginning I was like, this is about being courtroom battle, just goated.
Invasion. 4 nights after the deposition, a Wayne Enterprises maintenance log registers a ventilation access event on the tower's northeast shaft. Duration, 0.4 seconds. Flagged as a pressure anomaly. Auto-cleared by the system. Nobody reviews it. That's the first mistake. Daredevil is already inside. He doesn't use a grapple or cut a lock. He reads the building the same way he read Bruce on the stand. Through vibration, air displacement, the faint thermal bloom of electronics behind walls. Wayne Tower's ventilation infrastructure is 34 floors of interconnected ductwork. And to Matt's radar sense, every junction, every corner, every branching shaft resolves into something close to a map. He moves through it the way water moves through a pipe, following the path of least resistance, adjusting in real time, generating no sound that the building's sensors are calibrated to catch. Standard security systems are built to stop people who need to see where they're going. Matt doesn't. What he can do is feel heartbeats through 2 floors of reinforced concrete. His sensory range in an enclosed structure like this stretches across a radius most people would refuse to believe. By the time he drops into the executive corridor on the 28th floor, he already knows that there's 4 security guards. One is eating, and none of them are looking at the right wall. Bruce knows something's in the building before any alarm fires. Not because of the sensors, because of the white noise emitters he installed in the executive floors 18 months ago. And the fact that one of them just shifted its acoustic output by a measurable fraction in response to a moving body that shouldn't be there. He's watching the readout from a secondary terminal in the sublevel when the signal moves. Fast. Too fast for a human navigating by...
Batman would have something like that too, like something that crazy, like some white noise sensor thing. Like somebody could be the best stealth person in the world to try to sneak into Wayne Tower and still get caught because Batman has white noise sensors in the building. Like that's crazy, bro. Is that a thing? I feel like that has to be illegal in real life. That has to be illegal because what the white noise sensors? That sounds busted in real life. They probably do have something like that too.
Sight in low light. He triggers the countermeasures in sequence. White noise generators flood the upper floors with broadband interference, the kind that collapses fine auditory discrimination and makes precise distance judgment genuinely difficult, even for someone with Matt's range. The Faraday-caged server rooms seal off, cutting electromagnetic bleed that could otherwise be read as a structural map. Subsonic pulse emitters in the stairwells fire
Yeah,
at
see, like Batman fighting Daredevil with all this stuff is overkill, bro. Like it's overkill. This is Batman fighting somebody more broken because Daredevil doesn't need all this.
18 hertz, a frequency that disrupts vestibular processing and should make sonar-based navigation feel like walking on a moving deck. Should. The white noise costs Matt something. His fine-tuned hearing drops in resolution, and the upper floors become noisier and harder to parse. But his radar sense isn't purely auditory. It's a full-body sensory field that reads air pressure differentials and physical geometry. As long as there's air between him and the surface he's mapping, the field works. The pulse emitters hit him like static. He slows, recalibrates, and keeps moving. Not fast, but moving. That's the problem with building a defense against a capability you've never faced in the field. You don't know which layer it'll fail at until it does. He reaches the sub-level access corridor on B2 before Bruce intercepts him. This isn't the fight yet. Bruce steps out of a maintenance alcove with no weapon drawn, and Matt stops 6 feet away with the billy club extended but not swinging. Both men hold that distance for a moment that stretches longer than it should. Matt's radar is reading Bruce's posture, his breathing, the way his weight is distributed across both feet. Bruce is reading Matt's stillness. The cane hooked on 2 fingers, the slight forward lean of someone who's already mapped 3 exit routes. Matt speaks first. He says the name of the arms dealer who moved the shipment. He says the name of the subsidiary that signed the manifest. Then he waits. Bruce doesn't say enough. Not a denial, not a confirmation, something in between that Matt's radar catches as deliberate omission, which is its own answer. Then a Wayne Enterprises alert fires 2 floors up, sharp and real. And both men look toward the ceiling at the same time. Survival tier B. The countermeasures held long enough, but only barely. Daredevil reached the sub-level without a meta-human ability to his name. And Bruce survived the breach on time, not on margin. Encounter 3. The alert clears in 40 seconds. Whatever tripped it on the upper floors, it isn't a threat. No intruder, no fire, no system failure. Just a signal that appeared and vanished. Clean and deliberate. Bruce knows what a planted distraction looks like. Matt knows it too. They both look at each other, and the space between them contracts. Neither man says anything this time. Bruce moves first, but not toward Matt. He hits a panel in the maintenance alcove, and the sub-level corridor goes completely dark. Not dim, not emergency lit, black. Every light source in the corridor, including the ambient glow from the server indicators and the exit signs, cuts at once. Then the ultrasonic array built into the corridor ceiling fires up, and the air fills with a frequency just above human hearing that makes the back of your teeth ache. Then a Faraday pulse, short and sharp, runs through the walls and kills every readable electromagnetic signal in the structure. Bruce designed this room for exactly one purpose: to take away every advantage a sensory-enhanced opponent brings into a fight. He's been building it for 2 years. Matt's radar range collapses. What was a 30-foot sweep
and that would probably hurt way more to Daredevil because his other senses are increased greatly, so he's cooked.
10 minutes ago narrows to under 10 feet of usable resolution, and even that is noisy. Edges blurring where the ultrasonic interference scatters the reflected field. He adjusts his grip on the billy club and shifts his weight to the balls of his feet. His breathing slows. He's fought blind before. He's fought in worse. The fight is fast and brutal from the first exchange. Matt swings wide to force Bruce off his left side, reading the armor's weight distribution, probing for how the suit moves. Bruce deflects with the cape, using it as a physical intercept rather than a shield, billowing it into Matt's radar field to create a momentary gap, then closes the distance to smother the billy club's range advantage. Close quarters favors the heavier fighter. Bruce has 30 pounds of armor on top of the body weight difference, and he knows it. Matt knows it too. He doesn't let Bruce close cleanly, rolling off the grapple attempt and landing 2 fast strikes to the ribs before creating space. They reset, both breathing harder now. Matt finds the gap on the third exchange. He's been mapping the armor's joint points through contact, the same way a doctor percusses a chest to find fluid, and he identifies that the left shoulder plate articulates slightly wider during an overhand right. So he baits the overhand, steps inside it, and drives 3 rapid strikes into the joint. The third one torques the shoulder past its range. Bruce's arm drops. The armor can absorb impact, but it can't prevent a dislocation, because no armor can fully brace a joint that has to move freely to function. For the next 40 seconds, Bruce is losing. His left arm is compromised. His reach on that side is gone, and Matt is pressing, not recklessly, but with the particular precision of someone who's identified the structural fault and intends to widen it. A dislocated shoulder in a fight like this isn't just pain. It's a 20 to 30% drop in functional upper body output on that side, and Matt is targeting it on every exchange. Bruce stops trying to win on his
Like, I get it. Like, Daredevil's is cool. Hey, he's cool. I just can't. I can't see Batman getting clapped by Daredevil at any point. Not even for a couple seconds. I can't see it.
Terms. He waits for a clinch, lets Matt drive him into the wall, and in the moment Matt's forearm crosses his chest, Bruce wraps the cape around Matt's head at contact range. Not loosely, tight, full fabric contact against the skull. No air gap. Matt goes still. His radar sense works by reading reflected waves propagating through open air. Dense material pressed flush against the source doesn't just muffle the field, it collapses it. With the cape sealed against his skull, there's nothing for the reflected signal to bounce off of. For 6 seconds, Matt Murdock is as blind as anyone else in a blacked out room. 6 seconds. Bruce drives him into the concrete and brings a batarang to the side of his throat. Neither man moves. The fight
Thinking about a degree in
It's
cybersecurity,
over.
don't sleep on this. UMGC is waiving their application fee through June.
is over. Survival tier A, Batman wins, and it cost him a shoulder, 40 seconds of being outclassed, and a room he spent 2 years building. On Murdoch Streets, without that corridor, this goes the other way. Encounter 4, the Talon. Bruce hasn't moved the batarang when the ceiling panel caves inward. Not from an explosion, from weight. Something drops into the corridor between them and lands in a crouch that no human being lands in. Perfectly balanced, perfectly silent, head tilting toward each of them in sequence. The Court of Owls talon straightens to full height, and the security system behind Bruce's visor reads it in about 2 seconds. Enhanced reflexes, accelerated healing. Decades of conditioning layered on top of a body that stopped aging sometime in the late 1800s. It was sent here tonight for both of them. Bruce and Matt look at each other. 4 seconds pass, no words. Matt's radar is already tracking the talon's weight distribution. The micro shifts in its stance as it calculates the first strike angle. Bruce is reading the same thing through the visor. They both reach the same conclusion at the same time, which is that the court planted the alert upstairs, fed Murdoch's investigation just enough rope to pull him into this building, and then sent something that doesn't feel pain or hesitation to finish them both while they were busy finishing each other. The talon moves for Bruce first. Matt gets there before it does. The billy cable wraps the talon's lead arm at full extension, and Matt uses the redirect to pull it off its line, buying Bruce 2 seconds to get clear and pull the cryogel canister from the belt. Talon regeneration runs on accelerated cellular repair, the same basic mitotic process as normal tissue healing, just compressed into minutes instead of weeks. Drop the core temperature of the affected tissue below 10 degrees Celsius, and that process slows to nearly nothing. Bruce fires the compound across the talon's torso and left shoulder on the third exchange, and the regeneration that had been closing a billy club gash across its forearm stops. It doesn't stop the talon, but it slows it. And slowing is enough, because Matt's radar is feeding Bruce every movement pattern in real time. Positional data that Bruce's visual processing can't match cleanly in a dark corridor against something this fast. He exploits every gap Matt identifies. The talon gets
Daredevil's out here giving Batman call-outs, and Batman says whooping the talon, right?
It's contained against the far wall, arm-locked, cryo compound, eating into its recovery window, and it stays there. Neither man killed it. Both men understood why. Survival tier? Ass. Two people who nearly destroyed each other 8 minutes ago are the only reason the other one is standing. That's the tier where survival stops being about your own capability. Conclusion.
Okay.
The case gets dropped 6 days later. Quietly, no press release. The arms shipment stays buried. Nobody wins clean. Matt walks out of Wayne Tower into Gotham rain, Kane tapping the wet pavement. 3 floors above him, a shadow sits on the ledge and watches him go. Not following, just watching. The Court of Owls knows Daredevil exists now, and the court doesn't leave witnesses. Drop a comment if you want to see Batman face someone he can't outthink. Subscribe.
See, we got like a whole. It's like a comic book. It's like a new version of a comic book. I don't know how to explain it. That's like the closest way I could explain it right now. We all know Batman wins, but as he said in the end, it's not about like, you know, who had power over the other. It's just all that matters is that they made it out together. So that's, you know, that's okay. You got me there. You got me. All right.